When I tell y'all I be getting attacked every day, every second, every minute by the devil and his goons, sometimes I find myself trying to, fight back out of anger, and I forget that I'm not fighting human beings. I can easily fight them. I'm fighting principalities and spirits. And I'm fighting. It's not the human flesh of the person that actually is doing the wrongdoing to me. It's actually the spirit world. And I'm the type of person, I wrestle with anger issues a lot. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I'm not one of the people on here that's like, I'm newly walking in my path. I knew for a long time that I was supposed to be walking this path, but I denied it for a long time. And by me doing that, I made a lot of promises to YAHUAH, our Father. And I just recently found out what his name was, because I've been seeking it for a long time. I just knew his name wasn't Lord and God. It just didn't sit right with me. And I knew his son name wasn't Jesus. It just didn't sit right with me for some reason. And I'm going to tell y'all, it's been a bunch of times that, I done prayed to Jesus Christ and God and Lord, and, he didn't actually answer me and, a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm not going to say that people that's praying to and saying Lord and praying to and saying Jesus Christ, I'm not going to tell them that they were doing the wrong thing, because I was doing it too. But I am going to tell you that that's not his name. Now, he probably knows what you mean, but he also knows you don't know his name. You don't know who he is. And he's a forgiving guy. He's an awesome guy. But if you don't know his name, or you don't try to find out his name, I don't know if y'all gonna have the same bond as a person that knows his name gonna have. Cause even though I didn't know his name, and I was still sinning against him. I'm gonna tell y'all a story, but let me tell you, and I was still sinning against him. He was still blessing me though. He was still showing me favor. Why? Because I have a calling. And he knew I was going to come around sooner or later. He knows everything. He just knew he had to beat me up a couple of times, let the devil run his course in my life a couple of times for me to come around, right? See, like right now, y'all, I'm homeless. I don't got nowhere to stay, nowhere to live. I'm living in my car. That's why y'all see it's dark. I'm actually in a parking lot, actually, in my car, actually. But I done talked to our Father before, time and time again, before I actually started walking my path. And he been told me that I was supposed to walk this path because he got important stuff for me to do. And I would actually strike deals with him. Like, okay, I would actually make covenants with our Father. I'm going to tell you how deep this is. Because I done talk. I even though I was a sinner, I always talked to him. Always. Especially when I was in situations like this. But I'm in situations like this for being disobedient and not walking, not doing what I'm supposed to do, doing what I want to do, not what I'm supposed to do, sinning against him and all that. Like, this is real. Like, if you do something against the Father and you sin against him and you basically piss him off, he gonna punish your behind. He gonna punish your behind, just like a real father, just like an earthly father would do. He gonna punish you, and I'd have been punished many a time. But I also have been like I done been. Let me tell y'all, I done been in situations where I knew I ain't supposed to be here. Like, having guns pointed point blank at my face, like just point blank, and all the person had to do was just squeeze, and it was over for me. Or people hopping out of cars with choppers, and I got to break out running because it's either I run or I get dumped at, I get shot at. So I'd have been in a lot of situations to where I know it was only him that got me out of the situation. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Even though sometimes I thought it was me. Like, I'm gonna tell you about this one time. I was driving my truck, right? Not this truck that I have now, but a truck before then. And I'm driving it. I'm on the interstate, and I'm on the interstate. I'm driving, but I'm texting at the same time, right? I'm driving, but I'm texting at the same time. I'm texting, driving, looking up, driving, texting, and I happen to text, and look up and drive, and I was heading toward the medium on my left side, but it wasn't the medium. It was a barrier dividing the right side of the interstate from the left side, right? You know they got the concrete barrier. I look up and I'm heading straight for it. So I try to correct it, but I overcorrect it. And I'm driving the SUV now. And y'all know when you go on a certain speed in the SUV, if you overcorrect it, you make a sharp overcorrect, the thing is liable to flip over. So I overcorrect it, and it start to fishtail. You know, I'm all over. It start to fishtail bad. Like I'm trying to hold it together, and I'm fishtailing, and I'm all over the lanes, and I got it together, and I'm like, and I got it straight, and I'm like, oh, dang, I can drive. You know, after it was all over, I'm like, ooh, I did that, didn't I? I could drive like a mother. I took credit for the Father's work when it wasn't even me. It wasn't even me. Because I wouldn't even though I was fishtailing, I wasn't scared or nothing. I was just like, I gotta get it. You know, I gotta get it. And I knew that was only YAHUAH taking the wheel. Because if it was really me, I'd have probably been like, you know what I'm saying? I'd have probably been like that. But I was calm. I wasn't tripping. I was focused. Because his spirit was in here. And he had this will. It wasn't me. It wasn't me at all. But back to what I was saying. I had struck up deals, struck up covenants with the Father, like okay, Father. But I was calling him Lord back then, and all this other stuff. I was like, if you, because this not my first time being homeless. I done been homeless before. I done been homeless in a place. Right now I'm homeless in my hometown. I done been homeless in a place to where I ain't know nobody. Like, it was a strange place. I ain't know nobody. And this was one of them times that I didn't know nobody, and I was like, Father, you already know. If you get me out of this situation, I promise you, I'm gonna do whatever you want me to do. Blah blah blah. Wang wang wang. Lie lie lie. Lie false false false. You know what I'm saying? And even though he knew I wasn't gonna do it, he knew I wasn't gonna do it. Guess what, y'all? He still blessed me. Got me out of the situation. Still blessed me. Still put me in other situations to where I was like, wait, hold up. I'm gonna do what I told you I was gonna do. But hold up a second. I just want to make sure when I do it right. I do it all the way. I don't want half step at all. And that would be my excuse. But my point is, even though he knew I wasn't totally committed to what I said I was gonna do, he still looked out for me. And that wasn't just one time. I done bold-faced lied to his face a couple of times over that situation. Because I know this calling, because I've been knew I was supposed to be walking in his faith, because he got a calling for me. He got a job for me to do. It's not just I'm supposed to be living righteous. He got a job for me to do. Like many others. He got a job for me to do. Or jobs. You know what I'm saying? He got stuff for me to do. Not just worship him. He got stuff for me to do. He got stuff he want me to do. And I was playing around with him. Like, oh, you know my heart. I'm gonna come around eventually. Just let me fornicate a little while longer. Just let me, do these drugs a little while longer. Cause I was on drugs like crazy, y'all. I done been involved in so much stuff, y'all. If you listen to me, if you a sinner and you think you that bad of a sinner that our Father is not gonna forgive you, trust me. Trust me. When I say I done broke, then I was reading the scriptures yesterday. I read them every day, but I was reading the scriptures, right? And I started from the beginning, and I got to where Moses was, he was at the mount, and he was getting the Ten Commandments from the Father, and he was getting ready to tell the people, what the Lord commanded of them, what he wanted them to do. And y'all started going through the commandments, and I promise you, this whole chapter, I was like, man, I done broke all them